This is the fourth episode in the electric fence video series. Hi, I'm Rod Schaub, and the topic for this video is lightning protection for the charger. You know, when we talked about chargers, we talked about having a surge protector on the 110 side of the charger. We want that for any electric charger. We definitely want to protect it from lightning strikes that would come in from the 110 side. Today what we're really talking about is how can we protect it from lightning if it strikes out on the fence. So if it strikes out on the fence, we don't want that lightning, that energy to come back through here and blow our charger off the wall. So one of the things that's really critical is we have to have a separate ground system to catch that lightning energy rather than let it come back and seek out our ground system that we have, which is going to make it go through the charger and ruin our charger. So it's really critical that when we have our own ground system for our lightning protection, it has to be at least 65 feet from the charger ground field, okay? So we have to have it 65 foot away, and then we have one more thing. We have to have at least one more ground rod here, one more 6-foot ground rod here than we have over there. Because the idea is we want to attract the lightning to this ground field. We want it to come here. We don't want it to go that way. So when the lightning hits out here, it comes here, it goes down through this lightning arrestor and into the ground. That's what we're after. To get that accomplished, we have a couple of items here that you can see. Here's the lightning coil. This coil is made of underground wire, double insulated underground wire. It's been rolled. It's about 1 foot across, and there's 10 to 12 wraps. When I get that completely wrapped up like that, then I put zip ties on it, and that's what my coil is going to look like. What the lightning coil does is if electricity from the lightning strike goes down through here, but there's some leftover current, maybe it's going to go towards the charger. The idea behind the lightning coil is that energy will wrap around there and spin around there several times and then reverse itself and put the energy back out on the fence. And that's kind of where we want it. If it doesn't go into the ground system, we don't want it to go through our charger. Then, and notice, this is on the hot wire that goes out to the fence. So then once we get just past the coil, then we want to put a lightning arrestor on. And this is a homemade lightning arrestor. And the idea here is to get that, to jump that electricity from the lightning to jump this little distance and go into the ground system. One of the ways we set this is we want to make sure that this is at least 1/4 of an inch to start with. And these can be loosened up and adjusted as needed. So you'll turn your charger on and you will raise or lower that until it quits snapping. Once it quits snapping, once there's no electricity going into the ground system, you have it set just about perfect. Because remember, we might be putting 10,000 volts out this way onto the fence, but that lightning bolt is going to be a whole lot more than 10,000 volts. And when it comes back in, we want it to seek the ground, and the best ground system that we have will be this one, and there's no doubt as many volts as it has, it'll jump this little 1/4 inch gap and go into the ground. So those are some of the things. Now you can purchase lightning coils. You can purchase the lightning arrestors. Matter of fact, here's a lightning arrestor, and it would take this place just like this. You would have this wire would hook to the top, the ground wire would hook to the bottom, and when lightning would strike the fence, it would come down through here. If you look in the back of this, it will burn these out. But it will let the electricity go into the ground. These will melt. And so the reason I don't like this is if it's mounted up on a fence, you'll never know whether it's been hit or not unless you take it off after every storm and look, you know. This way I can see this, I know that the gap's there, I know that it's set. There's another system that you can buy, and this actually has the lightning coil, it has the lightning arrestor, and we can show you how this would go. We'd actually not have this coil on here, this lead out wire that goes to the fence would hook here, the wire from the fence would hook here, and then if you can see this, we can adjust this by however much we need to set our gap. Then what happens is, when the lightning hits, it comes back to this, it jumps this gap, follows this around, hooks onto our ground system, and goes down into the ground. So this is the whole unit can be purchased this way. I just prefer to build my own. If you do build these, make sure that this is non-conductive, and it'll work just fine. A lot of the information that I'm presenting is actually from the Missouri Electric Fencing for Serious Grazers Manual. And if you would look in this book, you would see that on page 11, here are some diagrams that they've drawn up for lightning chokes. If you look on page 19, here are some home-built lightning arresters. Now, to find this book, just Google the title, Missouri Electric Fencing for Serious Grazers. It's a really good resource. I think you'll find it very handy. And until next time, Rod Shaw.